Hi there. Welcome to The PrevenTable, the podcast giving you a seat at the table with conversations about the intersection of alcohol, drugs, and mental health in everyday lives. Take a seat and join us.
Welcome to The PrevenTable. With me today, and made possible, by the way, as always, by Hubbard, is Terran Rome. He is the executive director and founder of the Legacy Institute. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
No problem at all.
So we met through one of our team members, Courtney.
Correct.
Because he is, all day, every day, he kind of pounds the pavement in community, figuring out what are some new and exciting, I'll say grassroots, you could say community-based, kind of whatever you want to say. What are some new things happening? What are some resources that are out there, and how can we uplift those, and how can we work together? So he passed me in the hallway and said, I got somebody for you. And so he introduced the two of us. So tell me a little bit more about the Legacy Institute.
Sure. Well, let's look at it like this. From something bad, always something good can come from that if you look at it properly. So we took a positive aspect of looking at the COVID. COVID came around, kids sitting at home, kids not learning. And if you really got the passion and the heart for things, you think about it, man, when I was their age, I never missed a whole year of school.
Right.
I never missed a whole opportunity, almost 2 years of being flexible to continue my learning process the way I was taught at first. So the flexibility of having to go about this, I knew it was going to be hard, especially for kids that were somewhere deprived or didn't have the resources that other children might have. I was like, oh man, let's look at households that got 8 kids in there. How are they going to fight to get to a computer to do some work on the computer and do Zoom and concentrate on that at home with everybody else there?
If they even have a computer, correct. And then if they have the internet.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of felt the passion to say that something needs to happen, and something needs to happen fast. So I came about with some of my classmates from high school, and I called them up and said, hey, we need to come up with something that makes more sense, something that makes better sense, and something that we can create that can help build our community up from some of the tragedy that we're going through over this 2-year span. And that's how Legacy Institute was first birthed. We went into it, we started doing research and started saying what could we do. So at first I didn't have the answers. I just
right.
Knew,
you were like something. We got to do something.
I knew it was a question. A question that's still a question with no solution is a question that never goes away.
True.
I thought about it. I said, okay. So I did some research and saw that the African American community was number 17. There are 17 ethnic groups in the United States, and we were number 17 on the list, which was totally last.
Number 17 in
out of all the ethnic groups in the United States. There's a research calendar. You go to the library, it kind of shows you that. Excuse me. And when I saw that, I said, wow. Okay, we're last. Now I'm a team sport type of person. So I looked and found out who the number 1 and 2 and 3 was. And I said, well, let me do some research and see what are they doing that number 17 is not doing. And that's how I came with the concept. But though I'm not a genius, I'm not a brain scientist, but I know if I look at last and I look at first, I know from a team concept, if we're in last, we must find out how to compete with the first, the second, the third, and on down. And so that's when we came up with looking at the concepts, the principles, and what they were doing in home as well as in school, and as well as their own homeschooling they had for their youth. That's what they were teaching them. So I said we must try to come up with a concept as well of that. I saw that some of the ethnic groups were doing Saturday enrichment courses for their children.
Right.
And so I said, okay, well, that's something that we should consider doing as well. So we came up with enrichment courses to be taught on Saturdays, because guess what? Everybody's not going to be the great athlete. Everybody's not going to be the great musician or the great rapper or the great singer. So the things we see the most are the things we want to be. So that's why we had to open up the horizons as to what our youth could see and to how far they could go. Because guess what? Right now, most kids are running around And if they all starting on the football team, they all had this aspiration that they're going pro. But like I said, only 1% of people goes pro. So now what do you do next? So that's where the exposure and the other opportunities had to come into effect. And so we looked at, though, we going to teach the principles such as, when I went to school, there were some things that I also missed. So I knew that it was most definitely needed. And I am a college educated guy. So we looked back and said we must teach our youth money and credit.
Yes.
We must not wait until they would turn into their 20s and 30s or 40s or 50s to figure it out.
Well, I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day about the fact that there are things that are taught in school that maybe you don't ever use again. And then there are things that you use every day that are not taught in schools. And I'm a teacher. Like, I'm not talking smack about the educational system. They're basically just doing what the bigger powers that be tell them what to do. But there are things like credit. There are things like how to pay your bills, how to keep a budget, credit cards, what paying the minimum payment only does to your credit, how to take notes, how to keep yourself organized. Like, those are things that are not taught
in school.
Right. And what you're saying is what the Legacy Institute does. Some of the things that y'all do is you teach those things that are currently not really taught in school, particularly around financial literacy.
Right.
Wow.
So think about it, and I kind of looked at and said, after I graduated from college, I still didn't know how money and credit work.
Right.
And
there's a lot of grown-ups who still don't know how that stuff works.
So unless you really dig into it, you might figure it out too late. And then you're in a hole. Now you got to work your way out of a hole that you should have never been in. So that's why we looked at, though, it's important for you to know now, so they don't make the mistakes, and then they can go further, because their mindset would be better than what mine was at that age.
So talk to me about chess. How did chess come into play here?
Well, chess came into play because my dad taught me chess when I was 8 years old. And I remember beating his friend, and his friend would not leave the table until he played me another game, beat me. He told my grandmother.
So he wasn't letting you win. You won fair and square.
I won fair and square. He said, "Oh, no, you're not going nowhere. You're going to play me again. I ain't leaving here until I beat you." So he did actually beat me the second game. We never had a tiebreaker, but he did beat me. So I shook hands and took a 1-1. But the whole thing was, I love, and the game of chess is so strategic.
Yes.
It's such a mind builder. And I never stopped using it. And I saw, wow, look at here. Look at how these pieces move. Look at how I can attack. Look at how I can make a good move. Look at how I made a bad move. Look at how somebody got me. So I said this, though. Now, I know good and well, if all our schools taught chess to all our kids, if they made that a requirement, our community would be so much smarter and better.
Interesting. I don't disagree.
I don't know why they don't do it.
And so you are primarily focused on the Confluence footprint, right? Confluence Academy, or is it a zip code, or?
Well, no. We are focused on any and everyone that would like to get their youth involved. That happens to be the building that we work from.
So your site is Confluence.
Correct. Downtown.
Okay.
At 310 North 15th Street.
Okay. And so how often, are you able to utilize this building? Is it run kind of like an after-school program?
A Saturday program.
Okay, so this is all on Saturdays.
Yes, we like I said,
because of that concept. Saturday enrichment.
Exactly,
yes.
Saturday enrichment is what they're doing, so we must do it as well.
Okay,
and so we do it. The next session starts February the 24th, and we are going to be going for 8 weeks. And we will go from 9 to 2. We got free breakfast and free lunch.
Awesome.
And they will get courses taken all day, as well as the parents. Because there's another thing. The parents need some tooling up, some fine-tuning as well, especially in certain topics and subjects as well. And also we want to build family unity. Because if you learn how to play chess, then also the people in your family can play chess together.
It gives you something fun to do on the weekends or whatever.
And I tell them, you're going to lose. Some of your babies going to leave town. And then you can have at least a game a week or something that you all could do once a month, maybe something that can keep you all engaged, not just come to eat and talk and sit around.
So do you have staff? Or is it volunteer run? Are you a nonprofit?
We are a non-for-profit.
Okay.
We have a board. We have 1 to 2 maybe employees that work with us.
Are you counting yourself?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Okay.
And now we got a couple part-time people that participate. We got a couple interns.
Cool. Okay.
But we are trying to expand that. But our operation has been small but yet uniquely ran properly.
Yes.
And that's the key is that
because you want to practice what you preach. If you're talking about financial stewardship, you want to do that. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And then also I meant to bring up is that we decided one of the things we found out about and doing the courses is that the kids gravitate to chess so much, right? They can't wait till it's their chess time. It's time to go to chess. They all want to run and get to a board. So we have caught their interest in something that they want to do.
Right.
And so now they do it well, and all our classes, all the kids have been taught well. Now we're doing a chess tournament that starts coming up January the 27th. Saturday, January 27th, we're gonna have rounds. So we build it up just like sports. We got a league for 7 to 10, which is called Little League. We got a league called Junior Varsity, which is 11 to 14, and we have Varsity from 15 to 18. But all will compete, and then it's a process of elimination. You lose, the next person goes to the round until we get to the third round, 3-week tournament, and the winners will receive cash prizes up to $300 for each person. And we're gonna get to some tennis shoes also.
Oh.
We're going to really make them feel good about what they're going to get from being a good chess player, not just a chess player, but a great chess player at some point.
Okay, so I have 2 questions about chess. So you said that you got involved as a young man. Is it also a little serendipitous that St. Louis is kind of a chess town? I mean, have you had support from the chess museum and things like that? Or is that something that is on your radar in the future?
Been on the radar.
Okay.
Have not made that connection totally yet.
Okay.
But I'm working towards that because we would love to get them totally involved and get them to maybe come out and be some teachers or coach some teams as well, because we're looking to expand it. Right now we have 8 teams. We have Upward Bound, Matthew Dickey, Herbert Hoover. We have the Alphas going to participate. We have Cartner Ritter participating. We have Omega Squires participating. And we also have the National Association of Black Engineers participate, and of course Legacy Institute has teams there as well. So we are making sure that we collaborate with others to get their involvement and to get their youth participate as well, so we can make it this is not a one-time thing. It's going to happen 3 times a year, where we're going to make chess just as important as we make sports. And again, it's not going to start on the football team, so where do we put these people at? We still need to put them somewhere, and we still need to put football people somewhere else.
Right.
Everybody needs to get that well-rounded situation from what we're doing with the chess.
Do you all provide chess, what's it called, sets?
Yes.
Do you provide chess sets to the young people to practice at home?
Not at home yet.
Okay.
Most of the parents have bought them some.
Cool. Okay.
But we bring all the big boys to the actual facility to play at the Legacy.
You know, this is a fun fact. So I attempted to learn chess when I was a young person, but I had really poor motivation. I just wanted to impress a guy that I had a crush on who was really into chess. And I realized how hard it was. And I did not stick with it. And and I know it's not too late, right? Like I know I can learn how to play chess,
correct.
But my nieces run circles around a lot of the adults. I mean, they're good. And there are chess clubs at a lot of schools. Do you find that there are as many opportunities for chess in St. Louis City, in communities of color? Is that changing?
From my observation, we have some that are participating in certain schools. Certain middle schools are teaching it. Certain high schools have it as well, but not enough.
Got it.
So I would say maybe from my observation, I'd say maybe only about maybe 20% are really doing it compared to 80. The other 80% need to be as well.
Yeah. What were you doing before you started a nonprofit? How'd you get into this?
Well, I had been in the entertainment business when I first got out of college, so I kind of knew how to pull events together.
Okay, what does that mean? You were like a PR person? What does that mean? Are you famous and I didn't know it?
Oh no, not that at all. But I actually brought the first black comedy show to UMSL.
Really?
Yes, in 1995 we brought the first one, and also brought the first black comedy show to UMSL in 1995. I graduated from UMSL.
Okay.
And then after I got out, I went back. And I saw a void when I went to school that we didn't get, and I put it together and brought it there. And then we went and traveled across the country. We traveled to over 25 cities, over 25 different schools one semester.
Huh.
We traveled from Notre Dame to Mizzou to KU. KU was the
With
biggest.
black comedy.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
All across the country.
Huh.
As far as Florida A&M. So so I had a background of doing things like that and putting on expos and different events. So that was something that I always had in the back of my heart, and concerts, and I did several concerts as well. And so that's why this came about. And then I was doing real estate. So I got into real estate, which was a little bit more boring than what I used to do. All the running
well,
around.
I'll say.
Right, compared to being in all the functions and doing all the big events. But I still had a passion for this as well. But I found something out that in doing the passion that I had, that passion did not allow nothing that was sustainable. You can do a couple concerts, people forget about you. You did a good concert, there you go. But if you pull together something like Legacy Institute, something that when we are gone, it still continues, then that's something, sustainable things that I would like to be a part of.
And it's a purpose.
So that gives the passion to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. So that's why I think that the background came from starting to always be somewhat of a producer, but wanting to produce more than things that fell off.
Right.
What can I do that would always be here? Them the things that really matter. That's why, and then again, when I leave here, I don't want to be erased from ever coming here, because that can happen if you are not.
You want a legacy.
Right, want a legacy. And legacy starts from within. And so that's another class we teach at Legacy. We teach Black history. We teach that to give the youth some confidence in themselves, some love for themselves, some feelings of where they can really go in life. They can go far in life if they really look at all the great things their ancestors have done. And so if they can see it, seeing is believing. If you never see it, sometimes it's kind of hard to vision how far you can go.
Right.
But when you can see how far your people have went before you, and no matter what ethnic group it is, it's always good to show your kids how great you are and how great you can be. And then they would remember that. There's certain things I remember about being in grade school that sticks to me. And I wish more stuck to me that's what I needed, such as this. But I didn't get it. I did not get it. I'm not going to lie. I did not get it. So I just really want to make sure that we set a better blueprint so our kids can get the history they need to know. Because from my research, I saw that the more fluent ethnic groups knew their history. They knew their history well. And so we make sure that we focus on making sure that they get the time. And then also, a lot of our kids that fight and with each other and getting these little shootings and different things in the community, they never had a Black history course. They don't know nothing about Black history. They don't know nothing about how great they could be. And so if only way we could change that is to go back and show these little guys as well as these little girls that, hey, look how great you are. You don't have to fight with each other. You don't have to hate each other. You're supposed to love each other. And the biggest thing to that is unification. If you can show people how to be unified, it's no path you couldn't make. It's no blueprint you couldn't get through. But you got to be able to show better blueprints for our babies as well as our parents.
Right. Well, because a lot of times, as you well know, the parents are trying to figure it out too, right?
Correct.
And when
correct.
the parents are dealing with their trauma, and if they didn't learn this stuff, then how do we
exactly.
honestly expect them to teach their kids when
Right.
they didn't learn it either?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that hurts me because when I was raising my children, I didn't know some of these things. And all I knew is I had to get them in some programs. I knew I had to get them in programs. I had to keep their mind active and keep them around the right type of youth and the right type of parents that had the right type of youth, because that's where you make a difference. It's kind of hard. It's kind of good. They're very peer pressured.
Yeah.
And so, and sometimes grown-ups are peer pressured, in their own way. But the whole thing is, but you gotta be pressured in a positive environment. I want to be more positive like the other person is, not more negative than the other person is. So that's what we have to. That's why we teach leadership courses also, because we have to teach our youth, how to be leaders, how to make good decisions, how not to be a follower, especially a follower of something that's not good. So leadership is very, very important when it comes to what we do. We must show our kids how to be leaders and not followers. If we can teach, and as well as that, it's nothing that's very important that we learned from doing this, is we learned about the other ethnic groups were real strong on verbal confidence. Verbal confidence is so important.
Tell me what you mean by that.
The debate. We teach debate courses.
Okay.
Yes, elevator pitches, debate. We get them
not
opportunity.
yelling, being assertive,
Right.
having facts to support your case.
Exactly.
Being confident when you're projecting.
How to resolute conflict.
That's right.
How to work through things and how to deal with it in a calm state of mind. And so, like you say, we always teach the kids the one word. When you think of anger, the closest word to anger is danger.
Danger. That's right.
So when you think about one, the other one's not far away.
That's right. And it's not bad to get angry, right?
No,
anger is a normal feeling,
Right.
but it's what you do with that that can get you
There
into
you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Into some trouble.
There you go. So that's why we focus on that debate also, because the debate gives that other well-roundedness that a person needs. If you can't, like you said, you had a crush on somebody. I did the same thing, so I kind of laughed when you said that. I never ever thought I was going to join the debate team. But this young lady I had a crush on, I saw her one day. She said, "Yeah, I just joined the debate team." I said, "I'm joining too."
That's positive peer pressure right there.
But that's good. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I went and joined. And guess what? I ended up going to state, and she didn't go to state.
No way.
Yes, I ended up performing in front of the whole school, my play in front of the whole school twice because I did so well.
No
And so
way.
it was so weird that happened. But again, it was about I had a crush on somebody that was smart.
Yeah.
And so that smart person made me do something else smart.
Yep.
So I always tell people, get you a smart mate.
Yeah,
Look for smart people to have crushes on.
That's it. And it really, truthfully, it's who you surround yourself with,
Correct,
right?
correct.
And that's whether that's the community that you're in. We talk a lot here about the importance of education. We certainly talk a lot about recovery, and people talk about choices they've made because they've fallen into, a certain kind of crowd or whatever.
That's what we
and
tell them.
It's all about connection, and it's connecting to the healthy things that are going to get you on a healthy path.
And we teach that as well. We teach them about say no to drugs. We tell them the importance of not going that route. We even explain to them, because I can even know for myself, I have people that I was in college with that were very smart, but they ended up taking a wrong path, and all the smart they had could not get them away from the drugs once they got on it.
Yeah, once that disease and that brain change took over.
They became a functional person, but they needed that still. So I tell people, just because you get to college don't mean you made it yet.
Oh, right. Your prefrontal cortex is still growing, my friend.
Going, right. You still got to make good decisions, because now you're freer to make bad decisions.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Bad decisions can make you go a long path down, and you might not be able to come back. So yes, we do. We also, I meant to tell you that we also teach don't say no to drugs, and why it's important to say no to drugs, because you might not come back.
Yeah.
Once you get there. And that's such a sad feeling.
It is a sad feeling.
It's a sad feeling.
How are you all funded? I mean, I know you're a nonprofit, and I know you have a board, So do you all put on fundraisers? Do you rely on donations? Are you grants? Talk to me about what you are currently and where you'd like to go.
Well, for the past 2.5 years.
Is this the bane of your existence? It's hard, isn't it?
It is so hard.
If funding is necessary to do the damn thing.
Yes. Well, I've been funding mainly about 70% of this out of my pocket.
Whoa.
And we had a couple of sponsors that gave us a donation. UMB Bank has consistently helped us.
Amazing. Shout out to UMB Bank.
And that's the one that consistently has helped us.
Okay.
You know, we have some other people that have helped us and gave us donations.
Okay.
But we are still looking for the big play to get us where we can expand. That is really what we need. I need to be more social and get to these extra people that we need to know, because without that we cannot grow. So
how many kids are you serving currently?
75.
And what is your goal?
Our goal is for this coming up is 150.
Okay, so you want to double.
I want to double. And we've been out in the public going to different seminars and different workshops and doing booths at various events. So I've been picking up a lot more parents and also getting a lot more schools involved. So we're picking up. I know we'll be over 100, but honestly,
but
Nicole,
you still need the money to do it.
Yes, we need the money, and we need some people. We got some banks that say they want to participate now. They saw us a little more now. So at first, when I first came out, they was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing."
Right.
You know, oh, we call us back. Now they talking a little better to us, but
well, because let's be honest, St. Louis is drowning in nonprofits.
Yes,
and it's really hard to differentiate yourself.
Yes,
it's really hard too when you're the executive director, you're doing the work, you're writing the grants, you're doing the Saturday events where you're trying to get more families. Like, it's difficult.
Yes.
And while they teach grant writing 101, there's also some different hoops and people that you got to know and things like that.
Right.
And
it's
so
more of that people you got to know. So no, Nicole. I'm just so honestly, a couple times I emotionally was just drained because it was coming out of my pocket. But right at this point, we are so close. I feel I would be wrong to pull out, and I feel a passion that if we don't do it as a group, the changes will not be made. And I'm really going for change. The same thing with even Dassy, if I would say. Like I said, the cost of milk was 79 cents and 85. Now it's like $3 to $4, but some of our upgrades in education are still at 79 cent milk. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if we got to expand the price of milk, we need to expand the price of education. And I don't know why we don't understand that. And I don't know why it hasn't been an easy sale. I feel like we have a very unique organization that's going to really hit a lot of people, and I think we need it all over the country. But it just takes time to get to the right people and the people to understand, hey, this is the change that we need. If we want to build generational wealth, if we want to educate our people, if we want to stop some of the people making bad decisions, let's help them to make better decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more than just saying don't do that. It's also providing alternatives.
Right, alternatives, right.
That are beyond sports and music.
Correct.
Not to say anything bad about those two. No.
But guess what? Think about it. If you think about sports, that we're going to be teaching the business of sports. The business of sports can go a lot of ways. You can be a sports agent. Mm-hmm. You can be a coach. Mm-hmm. You can be
physical therapist.
The physical therapist.
Yep.
Right. You can be the film guy.
Yep.
You can do so many other things in the arena if you don't make it to the pros.
Correct.
But these are things that are not taught directly. You kind of got to ease into the field instead of knowing about it early on. Same way with music. You can be an AR person. You can be a publicity person. You can be a promotions person. You can be a director. There's so many things you can do in music. You know, like I said, I used to be in music, so I know how the music business works, but there was many things I had to find out on the fly.
I'm such a nerd, and any kid in my life will attest to this, that I'm that person that's like, oh, did you know that there's a job for that? Did you know that you see that thing that you really like? Somebody made that. Like, when I was a kid, I don't know about you, Terran, but my parents were great. every parent, all
Right.
parents are nuts, but my parents were fine. This isn't me talking bad about them.
Right.
But my parents were not like helping me understand all of the jobs I could do. For me, it was like lawyer, doctor, nurse, teacher. Those were kind of the buckets, right? As I went to college, I understood more about architect and engineer, but you still don't, those are like labels. That isn't necessarily like all of the different things that are required to actually build a building. Right? Or to get the permit to be able to build the building.
Right.
Or to clear the plot of land.
Right.
To zone it, to be able to get you know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many layers. Demolition, debris clearing, like all of the trucks and the logistics and all of that.
So many things.
But I'm the nerd. I'm always like, did you know there's a job for that? Like, are you interested in that? Because you could do that.
Correct.
Because I think that if we don't, in the absence of not knowing, some kids will learn on their own and will have that, I'll say, gumption to explore, but that's very rare.
Right. It's
That's
not enough.
very rare, right?
But you got them people that's on a bubble that could go either way.
Yeah.
Either way, people are the ones we trying to make sure, hold on, before you go the wrong way,
Yeah.
let me give you a couple more routes you can consider to take before you could consider that route. Because the kids are always looking, kids are so worried about how they look, how they dress, and how they do. But they got to find means and ways to get it where it makes sense and it don't not make sense to do, to get to the money. And if we could just at least say, hey, here's 10 other. See, right now we look at kids, you got 10 doors to open. When you get through a legacy, you should have 10 doors to open. Instead of 2 doors, you should have 10 doors. Because if we give
it's
you,
not this or that, it's this or this or this, or have you thought about this?
Now you got more options in life.
Huh.
Options should not be limited. Exposure should not be limited. Life should not be limited.
Well, when we talk about things that shouldn't be limited, what I would maybe ask you is, what does success look like? I know short-term success is doubling the number of participants, but what I'm also hearing you say is not just growing the work, but sustaining the work. That is what success would look like.
Correct.
Yeah. And yes, we'd love to have one of these in every state, but also we want to make sure that the work that you are doing can continue.
And when we're trying our best, Nicole, we are really trying to get, like I said, I'm looking at grants every day. I'm trying to find more grant writers. I'm trying to find out some donors that can really understand the mission and then say, hey, our community would be better if we could do this all across the board.
Right.
Let's get the kids off these Saturday streets or these after-school streets and not giving them something sustainable.
That's right.
That's what I've been looking for. I hate I'm not the social butterfly I need to be. But from within, I keep working and we keep thinking about how we can do. I'm a veteran also. So I fought for the country. Well, I've been part of the fight for the country as well.
Happy early Veterans Day.
Thank you. And we're just trying to see how many other ways we can connect with people like yourself that can really help us to get the word out and say, hey, Legacy Institute is worth being here, so let's make it sustainable. And at the same time, I don't care if people mimic what we're doing as well, because we can't save everybody in our program, but we should
There's
be part
plenty of work to go around. Yes.
For us all to do and think about how we could change to make things better. Don't continue to do the same things, because guess what? You're only going to get the same results.
Same result. You have quite the legacy, sir. Thank you so much for being here. You have an invitation to come back and talk about all of the new programs that you have. And I just I'm really grateful that we were introduced, because I didn't know about you. And I sort of pride myself on knowing about some things. And I hope that people are listening who maybe have some capacity to connect you with donors, with funders, with opportunities to continue to make this thing happen, because I think it's pretty incredible. So thank you so much for being here.
Can I?
Yeah, go.
Can I tell about our website?
Please.
Okay, thank you. Well, our website address is legacyinstitutestl.org. legacyinstitutestl.org. We also have a YouTube that has 15 amazing videos of our youth performing as well as our board is speaking on our behalf. And that's Legacy Institute STL. Legacy Institute STL is our YouTube. Please take a look at the work we're doing in the community and the things we have coming up. And if you got chess players or kids from 5 to 18 that would love to be a part of this program, please go onto our website, visit us. Also, you can call us. We got two numbers too, 314-337-1230, 314-337-1230, and our office number is 314-925-8228. These are some of the ways that you can reach out to us, and we can really want to connect with you and the public, and let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Yes. If you like what you heard today, please consider reaching out to the Legacy Institute, as was just described. And as always, if you like what you heard, please consider rating, reviewing, and subscribing to The Preventable. Thank you so much, sir, for being here.
Thank you, Nicole, and I really appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks for joining us at The Preventable, brought to you ad-free by Prevent+Ed. Prevent+Ed works to reduce or prevent the harms of alcohol and other drug use through education, intervention, and advocacy. Please visit their website at PrevenTEd.org. Like what you heard? Rate, review, and subscribe to stay up to date with what we are serving on The Preventable.